Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Car Question. We're going to talk about the road handling and the mechanical components of the new Subaru Forester 2017. Subaru's been known to use a horizontally opposed engine. When you look at the configuration, it's really unique. Instead of working up and down, they're working from side to side. So this is making really a unique engine with a unique sound also. They've been using those configurations for a long time. Back in the year 2000, I had my 2.5 RS and it was the same engine style. Some were good, some were maybe less reliable, but over the time the Forester had been known to have a great reliability. So right now the version that we have is using the 2.5 liter boxer engine of Subaru, and it's non-turbo, non-supercharged, so it's good for 170 horsepower at 5,800 RPM, and for the pound you're going to be able to get 174 pound-feet of torque at 4,000 RPM. The maximum engine revolution red line is stated at 6,000 RPM. You're going to be able to use regular fuel in that one. You've got 16 valves, you've got also throttle control and active valve control system on this one. It's a DOHC engine, and for the ejection it's the sequential multi-port. It's also a semi-closed deck design made of aluminum for this engine. So it's giving us good response. It's kind of average for acceleration with that engine, so you won't get your mind blown away if you step on the accelerator and you give it some. Well, it's okay, but you're not gonna get your air all messed up by doing some acceleration with that engine. Otherwise, if you choose the other engine that you can have, the 2.0 liter turbo, it's a twin scroll setting, once again boxer engine, and this one's going to be good for 250 horsepower at 5,600 RPM. And for torque, once again, there's a wide range of torque going from 2,000 to 4,800, and it's good for 258 pound-feet of torque. So instead of using regular fuel, you're gonna have to use premium on this one, and it's also dual overhead cam configuration, 16 valves, and you've got all the goodies that you need in a turbo engine with this one. Also, if you choose a turbo, you're gonna have a different configuration, because, by the way, I will deceive you, you can have the 2.5 with either a 6-speed manual or a CVT. But if you go for the turbo version, well, too bad, you don't have the possibility to drive with stick with it. So that's kind of sad, because it could have been a lot more challenging when those winters are coming around. So no stick on this one, but a CVT, but you're gonna get a SC Drive engine management system, which gonna offer you 3 different selectable drive mode for maximum control. You've got also on those engine, they've got a PZEV, as they call it, equipment, so that reduces emission to near zero without any impact on the environment. So once again, Subaru has been using the technology, was offering it in option a few years ago, but right now when you go for the base Forester with the 2.5, well, you've got that PZEV emission standard. Other than that, as I was saying a little bit about the transmission, 6-speed or CVT for this one, and you've got a special feeling with the CVT. When you give it full acceleration, a gear change. Yes, this one's going to simulate 6-speed when you're going to be accelerating more than a certain percentage of the gas pedal. If you go with the Forester with the different drive mode, the Forester Turbo, well, you're going to have a simulation of 6-speed or 8-speed. The same thing that you probably saw or will see soon in the WRX video that we have done. So once again, the all-wheel drive system will also be different if you go for a manual or if you go for an automatic. So the manual is equipped with a viscous coupling system, a limited slip or self-locking center differential that maintains a constant 50-50 balance of torque between the front and the rear axle. If you go with the CVT, a little bit different. It's an electrically managed continuously variable transfer clutch, which manages the torque distribution based on acceleration, deceleration, and also cornering. So once again, this is going to be a system that's going to adapt a little bit more to what the driver input will be sending to the car. So when you're behind the wheels, it's really different from the previous year. You can feel the sound and sonorization, which is a lot better in this one. You can also see the clear visibility, the big windows, that's giving you that sense of security, that sense of control. And if you floor it, well, I would have hoped to test the 2.0 liter turbo. I'm kind of sad right now not to have this one because I like that little bit of performance out there. The improvement that they made this year are getting me to appreciate more and more that Forester. There's once again difference between the turbo and this one. When you look at the button that we have down there, it's called an X mode. It's going to help you to go even deeper in off-road territory. So when you're going to be accelerating, it will be more reactive to wheel slippage. It will brake that wheels to give the power where it needs. The transmission control unit will also provide 25% more all-wheel drive power to the control rotational difference between the front and rear wheels. So it's going to be more reactive to give you the better traction around. And if you're going downhill, well, it's going to slow the car down using the braking force, and once again you're going to maintain a constant speed on your hill descent. So if it's slippery out there and if it's kind of bumpy, you will maintain a safe and reasonable speed so you won't hurt the car. Other than that, if you go also for the turbo version with your all-wheel drive system, you will get what we call an active torque vectoring system. It was first introduced on the WRX and the STI, and in easy word, what it means, when you're going to be cornering, it's going to send power to the other wheels, give you a better exit speed or a better sensation where you're going to be driving. So once again, that torque is going to be different and you will be able to adjust that with the setting. So when we check for the road handling of the 2.5 that we have right now, so the acceleration is kind of average. It's better with the paddles right here that I have. So right now you can hear that famous tone telling me that I won't be able to go into second gear. Going to second, flooring it, as you can see, it lacks a little bit of power, but I can shift. And I really need to be in manual if I shift, because if I shift up, it's going to send the car back into D mode. So what I want to do is slow to second, accelerate, and I can change whenever I want with the paddle shift. But when I'm going to get close to that 6,000 RPM red line, it's going to change for me. So it's not giving me the manual control that I want over the car, but it's the best balance between a CVT and an automatic transmission with those simulated gear. When you're going to be braking, you've got a good dose of braking. If you choose a turbo version, well, you've got bigger brakes up in front, and this is going to be great because you will need more stopping power. The suspension is incredibly smooth. Wow, over bumpy roads, I've done some gravel road, I've done some rocky road, some really beaten up road, even in the field. This thing handled just like on a cloud. You go onto those bumps and you don't feel that bumpiness that some other car will give to you. Not even sound of the suspension. So it's really, really great. I love right now what they did with the suspension. So it's perfect for a good combination between road and off-road. But on the road, it doesn't feel like a sports car. You're going to be into that turn and it will give up pretty early. Even with those tires are probably not really suited up for this kind of performance driving. So some other SUV on the market might be a little more fun to drive in some kind of way, but it can't beat right now the off-road capability that you will find in the Forester, even with the side ground clearance on this one. When you're gonna send the car into a turn, you've got that nice feeling with the direction. You've got also a good feeling, and when you look at the angles that the wheels are gonna take when you're gonna be turning, that's kind of interesting. Once again, it's gonna make a small turn radius. It won't be as wide as other SUV on the market also. What I really like also about this little truck is the all-wheel drive system. in our diagonal test and our R test, well, you will see that it really can handle itself. I was quite surprised on how well it did. Switching it to X mode, and there you go, it's going to be able to give you really a strong confidence on where you're going to go. Towing capability is rated at 1,500 pounds, but that's if your trailer has some electric brakes. That's what is written in the manual. If it don't, well, it's only going to be 1,000 pounds. So it's kind of short when you compare it also to other SUV on the market. So I really feel it could do better than that, but hey, we're gonna follow what the manufacturers recommend. Security is really important for Subaru, the security of that all-wheel drive, the security when there's going to be an impact. But if you go with a much more equipped version of the Forester, you will have access to that EyeSight feature with collision warning, lane change warning. You will also have every blind spot monitor in the mirror. So right now, with the base price that we are at and the version that we are driving, it's kind of short on security feature. You only get a rear view camera and that's about it. But on impact test, the Subaru Forester is really strong. The IIHS really give a good note to the Forester when it did its impact test. You can also have that top safety plus feature when you will choose the EyeSight system. So once again, security is not an issue with Subaru. Let's talk about fuel consumption with the 2.5 naturally aspirated. If you go with the CVT, you're gonna be able to do impressive numbers, 9.2 around town and 7.4 on the highway. That's kind of cool. With the manual, that's where you see major difference. 10.9s around the city and only 8.3 on the highway. Right now, we've been able to do 9.3 since the 0 kilometer on the odometer, showing 8.5 liter per 100 since high rolling, and you're going to be able to do easy 8.9 if you're not too hard on the throttle. If you go on the turbo version though, well, it's going to be a little bit higher, 10.2 around town and 8.6 on the highway. Once again, that CVT is doing just an awesome work for saving you some fuel. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that little review about the roll and link and the mechanical components of the Subaru Forester. Feel free to check on the channel for other videos. Subscribe. If you have any comments about what I said or anything else, feel free to comment that in the section down there below. And also do a thumbs up if you like that. Besides that, see you later on another video of Car Question.